Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football with Mark Goldbridge. It's the Premier League preview and the big game this weekend. We're going to be talking about it and all the topical stuff. Arsenal versus Spurs. Big game of the weekend. And look, I'm going to start off and say, I hate to say this because I much prefer Spurs to Arsenal. I think Arsenal will win this. I can't see any other way other than an Arsenal win. I watched Arsenal at Liverpool last week. We are doing a watch along this channel. Arsenal versus Spurs, Sunday afternoon. Join us live on here. Make sure you subscribe and join us for that. But I watched Arsenal versus Liverpool, and Liverpool are on a different planet to like Man City, to everyone else in the league. But Arsenal, if you ignore that they're playing a very good Liverpool side, I think they move the ball well. I think they've got an exciting attack. And yeah, defensively you can get at them, of course you can. But then I contrast that with what I've seen of Spurs so far, and I go back to that Man City game. Spurs defensively okay, but they're not moving the ball from back to front quick enough, and I don't think they're creating enough chances to cause people problems. And I think in a game like this, it will cause issues. But let me just say, I want to show you a little bit of a clip here. This is from Triple Eight Sport, and this is a Premier League relevant topic. So let's have a listen to this.
Ellen Road. The atmosphere's electric. It's where football should be. It's where the Premier League should be. Liverpool are going to be up there in the top of the league. Man City probably going to win it again. Why not just buy all of your success? It's boring. Let's get in the Championship. That is where the entertainment is at.
Now, you can get in the video description and go and watch that full video. Please do go and do that and leave your comments on it. But I wanted to bring that in because there you have an Aston Villa fan who is basically saying that he prefers the Championship. The Championship is better than the Premier League because it's boring in the Premier League. You go to places like the Emirates and the Etihad, there's no atmosphere. You go in the Championship, you go Ellen Road, you go Loftus Road, and it's competitive. And every week you feel like you've got a chance and there's good atmospheres and everything like that. And I thought, you know what? Go and watch the full video and put your comments on there. But I actually agree. I do agree. I don't know what you lot think. I do agree because I think that when you are a fan of Aston Villa or you are a fan of Bournemouth or Brighton, you know in the Premier League that half of your season is just a waste of time. And yes, Crystal Palace went to United and won, but that's not really a shock. That's not really a shock at all because Manchester United are not a good team anymore. United are almost bordering on being a team that should be between 6th and 10th. We're not a good team, but I think when you look at the top four sides, very rare. And yeah, Newcastle went to Spurs and won. I accept that as well. And maybe that's slightly contradictory. But there are more drops in the ocean than frequent events, are they? So I actually know a lot of Villa fans, and they said to me when they're in the Championship, of course you want to be in the Premier League, but when you're in the Championship, every week you don't know whether you're going to win or lose, and every week you can go on a run, you can be in the top half, you can be in a relegation battle, but it just feels more of a level playing field, whereas the Premier League doesn't. And I agree with that. I think we all pretend that these, Palace beat Man City last year, Newcastle beat Man City last year, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like a pair of scales, isn't it? It's like that. The big clubs are getting bigger, and the other clubs are just getting further and further away. And I think that's a shame. But what's your thoughts on it? Get in the video description. Go and watch that full video. There's a really good debate going up on that, and I think it is. Is the Championship better than the Premier League for clubs like Aston Villa? Of course, it's not going to be better for a club like Arsenal or United or City, because we're hopefully always going to be fighting for that top 6. But for other clubs where, a lot of the games in your season, you're just going to go and get beat. Is the Championship a better league than the Premier League in relation to intensity, passion and interest? Go and watch the video, give it your thoughts. Leave a comment on there. But back to the Premier League preview. Arsenal Spurs is the big game of the weekend. I'm going to go Arsenal to win 3-1. I don't think in the sort of battle of a North London derby where Arsenal, I watched it last year, and Arsenal, they do well at Emirates against Spurs. If Spurs get a result out of this, and I hope they do, it'll be a very, very good result, but I just can't see anything other than that. And then that would leave Spurs with 4 points after 4 games, and you start to think, well, you've spent well in the summer, and you've started the season in your new ground as well. What's going on at Spurs? What is going on at Spurs? So, yeah, I fancy Arsenal to win that 2-1, I'm afraid. Southampton versus Manchester United, my club. Look, I said 1-1 in this game. I think it will be a draw. I don't think Southampton have got many goals in them, but I think Manchester United are struggling a bit. It's all going to be about how Southampton approach that game. If Southampton fancy their chances after beating Brighton last week and they go on the front foot and they play at a high level in relation to their defensive line, and they try and pass and move and everything, I think they'll have a lot of the ball, but I don't think they'll score many goals because they haven't really got that cutting edge, and I think United might be able to hurt them on the break. So I'm going to go with a draw in that, but obviously fingers crossed. United desperately need the win. Chelsea, Sheffield United. Look, Sheffield United have had a good start, but they lost to Leicester last week, and I think it's back to reality with a bump. I think Chelsea will win that quite easily. Good win for Chelsea last week away against the good Norwich side. I think this is a very, very well-timed game for Chelsea. Beat Sheffield United, and then you come out with, what would they have? 7 points from their first 4 games? Not bad after an opening day loss to United. Get in the comments, tell me what your thoughts are. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa I think is interesting. Good win for Palace last week against United, but I think Villa might get something here. I'm going to go with a draw. Villa got a good result against Everton last week, and I liked what I saw again from Villa in the Everton game and the Spurs game that they lost on the opening day. Intensity, that passion, I suppose, from the Championship, that fightability. So I fancy them to get something against Palace, who I don't actually think Palace are that good. I just think United were dreadful. Leicester at home to Bournemouth is a good game. Leicester have got United straight after the international break. Leicester drew their first 2, won a game. They're on 5 points. If they beat Bournemouth, they put them on 8 points. That means they're going to be above United going into that game after the international break at Old Trafford. And then I think that's going to be an amazingly big game for United and Leicester. But this is big for Leicester. They've got to beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth are a good side. I think a lot of people might fancy a draw in this, but I'm going to go with Leicester to win. I'm going to go with Leicester with a 2-1 win. And then Leicester again will be keeping that gap on United and going to Old Trafford with confidence. I think that's a massive game after the international break. Man City, Brighton, boring. Brighton, don't bother. If it's a sunny day, just go and have a bit of rock down in Brighton, have a good time. Don't go to Manchester City, don't put it on the telly. It's absolutely straightforward, bounce 4-5-0. Easy win for Man City, easy work, irrelevant. Newcastle versus Watford. Watford have had a really bad start to the season. Newcastle a bit bouncy, bit up and down, a few injuries. I think the logical thing is to say Newcastle will win that, but actually I think Watford might get a win. Watford are a better team than the results they've had so far. Having said that, if Newcastle were to win, I think Watford manager could be gone. He really could. They've had a really bad start to the season. But I fancy Watford to win. I'm going with a lot of 2-1s, but I fancy Watford to win that 2-1. West Ham, Norwich. God, there's some dirt. Already, when the season starts and you're like, every game's interesting, I can't wait for match of the day. It doesn't take long. I've said this so many times to people, it almost feels like the summer didn't really happen. It just feels like a continuation of last season. United are still massively inconsistent. Arsenal are just going to fight for 4th. Spurs should be fighting for titles but lose silly games, so they'll be fighting for the 4th spot as well. Chelsea, God knows what's happening. Liverpool and Man City are going to run away with it, and everybody else is just, whatever. And I think that West Ham Norwich game already takes on that. Am I that interested? It could be a draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw. Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. Maybe Pookie scores. Burnley, Liverpool as the 5:30 kickoff. Look, I can't say anything other than a Liverpool win. I think Liverpool haven't started the season off fantastically well, but have grinded out maximum points. I expect them to do that again. I think the league's going to go that way, and I think Liverpool will be top of the league going into the international break because City drew against Spurs. But Burnley conceivably could battle something out of the game, but I just think Liverpool are smart enough for that now. They've been doing this for so long. I thought this of the Southampton game a couple of weeks ago. I thought, potentially that's a difficult game for Liverpool, but they go and win. And I think they'll go and win Burnley. I think they might win it 3-1. Burnley will give a good account of themselves, but as I said, I just think Liverpool are so used to these sort of games now. You get 3 points, and I think they are going to go toe-to-toe with City all season. Remember, I predicted Liverpool to win the title. I don't want them to win it, but I predicted it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Liverpool to beat Burnley, and they'll be top of the league going into the first international break, which I hate. I don't like the international break. I don't know what you think about this. I want to be a bit topical. What do you think about the international break? I can't stand it. It's pointless. It's meaningless. Why are we playing games now, then again in October, then again in November, and just breaking up the season? We want to get going. We've had the Champions League draw, we've had the Europa League draw, and now we're going to have 2 weeks of no European football, no domestic football, watching meaningless friendlies that, basically you're just hoping your players don't get injured in. I hate it. Every year I hate it. You get your football back, you just get into the groove, they kill it. And they basically kill it dead for 2 weeks, don't they? You pretend you're interested in international football, but you basically kill it dead. And that's what's going to happen. So I don't like it. I don't know what your thoughts are. Moving into the Sunday games, Everton versus Wolves. Really good game this. And I do think that Wolves are going to struggle. I saw their Europa League draw. I think it's a difficult group for them. I think they've got a Portuguese side and maybe a Turkish side as well. And I don't know whether Wolves have got the squad for this Thursday, Sunday. And they've already played 4 Europa League games as well. And Everton haven't. Everton will have the fitness. And Everton, have a bit of pressure on them themselves. I think logically, if Wolves hadn't played Europa League football, you'd say this could be a draw. But I fancy Everton to win it. I'm going to go 2-0 to Everton. And obviously Arsenal Spurs will end this Premier League weekend, and I am going to go 3-1 with Arsenal for that. Just going back to that, I can't wait for it. Make sure you're joining us for the watch along on Sunday, so subscribe if you're new. Really looking forward to the game, but I just can't. And as people will know, I like to give Arsenal a bit of banter, but I really do fancy Arsenal to win it. I think Spurs have got to go and do something they've not been doing this season so far, and find a bit of form, find a bit of confidence, find a bit of a backbone. I can't understand how they didn't beat Newcastle last week. To lose that game at home, it's just unforgivable. And I think when you're taking that sort of form into this game, and let's not forget, they should have got beat by City as well. And they nearly got beat by Villa. I mean, the ridiculous thing with Spurs is they could have got beat by Villa. All right, they deserved to win it, but they were 1-0 down for a long time. They should have got beat by City. They got a point. They got beat by Newcastle. At minimum, they could be down on 3 points. They've got 4. They've got it. Some would say it's the perfect game for Spurs. It probably is, because they don't want to get into a groove of complacency. So it's a big game for Spurs, but I just fancy Arsenal to bounce back for this. And to be honest, it's a very early opportunity for Arsenal to put a stamp down and say we're going to be a top 4 side, which I think they should be. I think Arsenal fans, they act like, oh, look at United, look at Spurs. But the reality is Arsenal are banter, but I think they've had a better summer than most clubs. I think they've got a good manager. They've got a bit of consistency now. I fancy Arsenal to win this, and I think Arsenal should be favourites for top 4, so we'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Make sure you get commenting below. What are your score predictions? What are your thoughts on the international break? And make sure you check out that video in the video description. Really good topic there. Is the Championship better than the Premier League, more entertaining than the Premier League, and a better league for teams like Villa, like Norwich, like Sheffield United, like Brighton, like Bournemouth, like Watford? Is it better for the fans in that league? Do you agree with that? Because I do. I think that it's a competitive, interesting league, the Championship. Of course, you can be superior and say, well, clearly Premier League's better because it's got more money and it's got more focus. But actually, as a league, what's more entertaining for fans and as a competition? And I would say the Championship probably is. Maybe I'm controversial. I don't know. Forget to check the video out as well. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.